Mommy, don't touch me. Person, man, stranger, please don't shut the hell. Hey, comment real fast what your race is and what you represent. Like for me, I am black, African American, 50% white, 50% Chinese, 75% Latin, right? Then I represent the DMV area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Sup? Though I am not Chinese or white. At least I don't think I am.
It was the summer of 2012. I had just finished my last year of high school and I was 3 months shy of my 18th birthday.
Hey.
I lived about
Hey. Shouts out to anybody that just turned 18 or about to be 18. Because when I was 18, I turned up, right? I went to Vegas, and that's it. That's all you need to know, right? The rest is the rest is history, right? I went to Vegas, and that's it, right? I barely remember what happened. I did get a tattoo when I was in Vegas. It was, matter of fact, no, that was Miami. That's a whole different story. Right. Oh, man.
north of Toronto, Canada. It was the suburbs, but we had a giant rural area with amazing nature trails and wildlife.
No.
I can't lie, life was pretty amazing. I was ready to go to college in a few months, and I had amazing friends and family.
Okay.
My best friends were a girl named Sam and her boyfriend Gavin, whom I introduced to.
Gavin.
We did everything together, and I didn't really mind third-wheeling with them since we were all so close. I never imagined that a single moment could affect my life so much, that everything could just fall apart like that.
I mean, so you said you did or you do everything together. Does that include hauling ass? Because if it doesn't, then that relationship, that friendship is doomed. You best believe that. It's bound to happen. It's bound to rip, tear apart, shred into motherfucking pieces. I'm just saying. You know? Y'all can be the best of friends. But if y'all can't haul ass together, what's the point?
The last time all three of us were together was on a beautiful summer night. It was just perfect weather and the moon was out.
Mm-hmm.
It was around 9 p.m. and we all decided to get together and have a fire, drink, listen to music, and pretty much just chill.
Was it a full moon?
We walked to the rural area to have our little fiesta. The walk there is a dead-end road that leads up to this forest area. There's no lights, just the sound of nature, crickets, and whatnot.
So
It's about a 50-minute walk from the nearest home. We see the opening to the forest, turn on our flashlight, and start walking towards the clearing about 1 kilometer in.
Why?
Only one of us had a cell phone, as it still wasn't common to have one back then. Sam had it, and it was a shitty old BlackBerry that was only to be used for emergencies. So we finally got to our little spot, threw our wood in, and got the music going.
Wow.
It was one of those movie moments. Fire and beer really make people come together. We were laughing, joking around, and shotgunning beers.
Okay, but you doing all this, fun time. You doing all this fun, friendly stuff. But like, does anybody have their guard up? Is anybody cautious? Is anybody suspicious? You're in the goddamn woods, man. Like, come on. What you doing? Come on, yo. And I know for a fact none of y'all wearing y'all Adidas because y'all never would have been in that situation. Just saying. Nah, nope. Mm-mm. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong or y'all can tell me if I'm wrong if you want to. But if they was wearing their Adidas, they would have never been nowhere near forest.
I started feeling the buzz and felt my body just getting disoriented.
Best man.
I looked up and away from the fire, and from the corner of my eye, I thought I saw headlights.
You did.
I shushed them and told them to look, but it was gone. They told me it was just the moonlight playing tricks on me, but I had this weird feeling and anxiety in my chest that I'd never felt before.
Listen to your chest.
Now I know it was my intuition. I kinda just put my fear aside and continued to party and get drunk.
I'm tired of people saying that. I'm tired of people doing that. When they sense something, or when they see something, or hear something, or feel something, right? And they say something like, "Oh, it's probably nothing," or you know what? I'm not gonna pay attention to it. Chances are, it's something or someone. See, that's what I'm talking
Gavin had drunk the last beer and we agreed it was time for bed. So we put out the fire, turned on the flashlight, and started following the trail back to the road.
Hurry up.
When we were out of the brush and into the open road, a pair of car headlights turned on, blinding us. I was so confused and out of it, but I knew something was about to go down.
Sober to hell.
The person in the car turned on the engine and started speeding towards us, almost hitting us, but kept going. We were screaming "what the fuck" to this guy as he disappeared down the road. We thought that was it, some douchebag just fucking with us for shits and giggles. I didn't bring up the forest headlight thing because I didn't want to freak them out any more than they already were.
You're shitting me.
We continued on our journey home. About 3 minutes later, the car speeds past us again, the flash of the headlights blinding us. This is when the alarm bells start ringing in my head and the adrenaline starts pumping.
Starts?
We froze and looked at each other. Sam was crying now, and Gavin had this petrified look on his face that I will never ever forget. I told Sam to call 911 on her phone, and she dug into her pockets and couldn't find it. We flashed the light on the ground looking, but she must have forgot it at the clearing. We were fucked. The car flew by us again, and we started to run the opposite way. I looked behind me and I could see it slowing down. It stopped about 100 meters from us. The loud honk of the car horn broke the silence. It kept going and going, beeping and flashing his lights. This was fucked up. My adrenaline was insane and I started sprinting through the forest.
Okay.
Branches and things hitting me as I ran blindly in the dark. I fell over a log and twisted my ankle. I sucked in my breath from the pain and just laid there. I could see Sam's flashlight moving. She was running. I could hear Gavin yelling for her to run faster. She was smart and turned off the light and they hid. It was so silent I couldn't take it. I covered my mouth so my breathing could become steady. The headlights started shining in through the trees. I could make out that it was a tall man getting out of the car. He had a hunting rifle in his hand. I was praying to God now silently in my head that he wouldn't find us.
Here, you know what? Cluck it. Take Sam and Gavin. And here, just take them. I never even liked them in the first place. Sorry. I never liked y'all in the first place because you don't want to know why? You want to know why I never liked you? Because you chose Nike over Adidas. Sorry. You did this to yourself. And then when I say that, that's when I push y'all to the guy and I haul ass like it's no tomorrow. Sorry.
He also had a flashlight on the rifle and he started walking towards me.
Not me,
I thought I was done for. The light moved a few inches from my head and he almost walked over me. I heard a branch break from where my friends were. I slowly moved my head and watched in horror as the man pointed the gun at my friends' heads. I kept quiet, knowing that if something did happen, I would be the last one left to get help. He started yelling at Sam to get in the car. They were both crying hysterically. The man opened the trunk of his car and threw Sam into it. Gavin was now kneeling on the ground beside the car. The man violently started gun-butting him in the face. I can still hear the cracks of the gun hitting him to this day.
Oh.
I could see him laying there completely still. Is he dead? I thought. The car peeled off towards the city. I ran up to Gavin and he was completely covered in blood and had a disgusting gash in his face. He was knocked out. I knew I wasn't strong enough to carry him to the nearest home to get help.
Leave him.
I started yelling his name to try and wake him up, but nothing worked. I propped him up against the tree and covered him up as best as I could. I started running. It was all a blur. I don't even remember what I was thinking while I ran. I was so focused on getting help. I saw a house and started screaming and banging on the door. The lights turned on and a woman opened her window and asked me what was wrong. I yelled to her to call 911. The police got there pretty quick. I told them where my friend was and that he was severely injured in the description of the car that had taken my friend. I sat down and everything overwhelmed me. The emotions of what had just happened came over me. I was crying, shaking, and throwing up. My parents came and picked me up from the station after a few hours of questions. I was so happy to see them. We went home and I just laid there beside my mom. The next day I found out that they had found Sam in the trunk of that car, abandoned in a parking lot at the lake. She was alive, but something had obviously happened to her. Gavin was in the hospital with severe head trauma. They had to protect our names in the media since we were under 18. It was a big news story in our little town. A wake-up call that maybe the suburbs aren't so safe after all. Life was flipped upside down for all of us. Our friendship forever broken. I saw Gavin in the hospital when he woke up and brought him flowers, but we didn't speak about what had happened. Sam's family moved and we never really spoke again. I tried to search for her on Facebook, but nothing comes up. Gavin and I still don't really know what happened to her, but it makes me sick to my stomach thinking about it. I didn't end up going to college and had to go through some serious therapy to start feeling like myself again. I hope I'll get there one day soon. I don't go out much at all, never at night. The person who ruined our teenage dreams never faced justice. The case still remains open.
Damn. Oh, that's rough. Look, I'm sorry for Sam. And I'm sorry that I'm sorry that you got hurt. But you know, if maybe if you know, maybe if y'all wasn't wearing Nike, then you never would have been in that situation. I'm sorry. Like, why do you think I'm almost never in a clucked up situation? That's because I stay with Adidas all the time, 24/7. I'm sorry, but yeah, this relationship is over. I mean, you can wear Adidas now, but like that's not going to change anything. You ruined this relationship. You should have chosen Adidas when I told you to, but you don't want to listen to me. You got clucked up. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. And Sam, she was wearing Vans. I got no words for her. Sorry. That's rough. But deuces. Oh man.
First, a little background information.
Okay.
I worked the night shift at a local gas station when I was 19.
The night shift. The night shift. The night shift. The mother clucking night shift at a gas station? Oh my God.
A female, about 5'6", and was the only employee in the store, as usual. On Christmas Eve, I had to work the overnight, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. into Christmas Day.
Hell.
It was a normal night, no customers, and my cleaning was almost finished. I had just got done eating and decided to go out for a smoke when I hear someone walking towards the store in the distance.
Get back inside.
Now, this was nothing out of the ordinary until the person gets to the pumps and I can actually see them. It was a male, about 5'9" and somewhat thin. He was wearing a dark hoodie, jeans, and was carrying a gift bag.
Nope.
As he got closer, though, I noticed that he was bleeding from his forehead. As he approached me, I asked if he was okay and if he needed any help. I noticed that the bag was empty, which should have been my first red flag. The guy looked me in the eyes, looking dead inside, and said, "You want to help?"
Fuck. No. The moment you seen that blood on his forehead is the moment you should have ran like hell. You should have hauled ass like hell. Y'all, some of y'all be seeing the signs when it's too late. What's the point of knowing the red flags, seeing the red flags when it's too late? Like, you need to know when. Nothing. I'm not nothing.
Don't call the fucking cops. I agreed and told him that there was a first aid kit inside and that I'd be happy to help him with his wound.
Shit.
Crazy, I know, but I was just trying to be nice to him since he was someone who could be a threat to me.
Nice man.
We went inside the store and I got the first aid kit. As I pulled out the stuff for him to clean himself up with, he said he needed to use the restroom and once again told me not to call the cops. I told myself that if he wasn't out of the bathroom within a reasonable amount of time, I was going to call the police. He didn't come out, so I went outside and called. The dispatcher told me to stay out of the store and find somewhere safe to be until the officers arrived. I stood at the side of the store where he wouldn't be able to see me, but I could see if he came out of the bathroom. He never came out. The police arrived and asked me where he was. I pointed and they went in. Just as they got to the door, he opened it and tried to lunge at one of the officers. They tackled him, threw a knife that he was holding, and promptly arrested him. As they were walking him out of the store, he told me that I was lucky that the police got there when they did, and that he'd see me again soon. I was a little shook by that. One of the officers came to take my statement after the other took the guy away. I told the officer what had all happened, and then I asked something I really wish I didn't know the answer to. What was he doing in the bathroom? The officer told me that it was a good thing that I called when I did, because the guy had shot up some heroin in the bathroom, then was going to come out with a knife, stab me, and run with what money was in the register. That's what the bag was for. This guy had a lot of problems and a lot of anger inside of him. The reason he was so angry was also the reason his head was bleeding. He owed his dealer money and got beat because of it. His solution to the problem was robbing the store. The officer told me if I didn't call when I did, I'd either be critically wounded or dead because he wasn't going to allow me to stand between him and that money. I hope I never see that crazy drug addict who wanted to kill me to free himself of debt again.
You should have ran the first second you seen him. Oh my God. You
To give some
cluck.
background on my story, I was 6, living with my mom, my sister was 9, and my brother was 11 when my father died.
Okay.
After a few years, my mom started dating again. She ended up talking to this guy after meeting him from a handyman job. Our sync broke and my mom found him in the yellow pages. After that, they started talking and eventually started dating.
No, nah, no. No, I can see where this is going. And so with that being said, I'm going to need to know anything and everything about this man. Because I'm not taking a chance. I'm not taking a chance. Like, I'm not. I'm going to need to know first, middle, and last name. I'm going to need to know where he works, where he had worked in his past years, right? I'm going to need to know his social. I'm going to need to get a copy of his birth certificate, right? I need to know what his intentions are, right? And I need to know what his goals are and what he wants to accomplish in the next 5-6 minutes. So, yeah. And I also need to know his family too, and his friends, and his ex friends, you know. And what else? Oh, I'm gonna need to get his blood type. You know, I'm gonna need to do a DNA test. I'm gonna need all that. Nah. Sorry. I'm gonna need to. I'm gonna need a full background check on this guy. A full one, not no 89%, not no 99%, like 100%, 100% full background check on this guy. Cause to me, he is a complete stranger, somebody I have never met before, and you're letting him into his house? No, I don't think so. We're not doing this. Sorry, but I'm gonna need a full background check. So, after you get all that, plus, I'm gonna ask some questions on a real lie detector test. So, yeah, he is not to step foot in this house. He has a, what's that? What is that called? Or is it? I don't want to say a restraining order, but like, he is not to come within 6 miles of this house until I get all the information that I just said, and he answers the questions through a lie detector. Like, no, I'm not letting no stranger in my house who I never met before. I'm not doing that because I don't know what his intentions are. Sorry. Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Once my mom got pregnant and they decided to buy a bigger house to be able to fit us all in.
Wow.
So we moved to a small village away from everywhere.
Oh my God.
About 200 people.
No.
No.
No, you thought it was. You thought it was. So, cluck everything that I just said, right? Like, cluck me. You don't care about me, right? You cluck what I just said, right? So, a guy we never met before, don't know anything about, and we just decide to get up and move in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going. I'm not going. Mommy, don't touch me. Person, man, stranger, please don't shut the hell. Hey, for real, I don't. Stop. Just stop talking. Stop talking to me. Stop talking, cuz. Stop talking to me, B. Like, what's up? Like, you can come get these hands. Like, for real. Say something else. Say something else. Say something else. That's it. What's up?
town over was a 10-minute drive away at least. We didn't know at the time, but this man was a psychopath.
Oh, yep, there it
We
is.
found out he had served 4 years in prison for armed robbery, which is very rare in Scotland. And he had his fair share of fights and enemies. However, by the time this was all revealed about him, our mother refused to leave him because she was so convinced he was not a worry. Plus, he was now the father of her 4-month-old baby. She ignored her sister's advice and continued dating him. After around 3 years of the dating, they started binge drinking their Tesco alcohol on Mondays after getting paid on the weekend.
Damn.
And the kids would be going back to school.
Damn.
This led to a lot of arguments and frequent visits from the police. To put into perspective how much of a psycho this man was, at one of the police visits, there was a female and a male cop that showed up. The male cop took my mother in the living room to talk to her and find out what had happened, and the female officer did the same with him. After a few minutes, everything was normal until the female officer started screaming. The male cop ran into the kitchen, followed by everyone else wondering what the fuck just happened. Alan was on the floor with his wrist bleeding. We were all quickly rushed out of the room. But I later found out that while talking to the officer, Alan had gone to the knife block, pulled out the biggest knife he could, and slit his own fucking wrist. The officer, being fairly new and not expecting this from a simple row into a small peaceful village where nothing ever happened, was shocked and started screaming. That's just one example. I'll also add that Alan was very overprotective of my mother. He didn't want her to try and leave him or talk to anyone about their regular fights. This made him insist on going everywhere with her and feeding her more so she would look less attractive to guys so that no one would want her. He hated seeing pictures of her with her ex, aka my dad, and it made him start arguments over nothing. But one night he took things to a whole new level. We went over to my aunt's house, my mom's sister, and started watching old home videos. Alan saw a few of the videos in which my dad and my mom were together. I believe the one that really pushed him was when he saw the camera turn to them when they were on the beach and they kissed. Alan was quiet on the way home that night, and you could see the anger on his face. It was just not normal. When we got home that night, things seemed to be normal until my mom got back from her karate class, which she normally attends on a Monday. Alan had been drinking and confronted my mom when she came in. He then smashed a bottle on the wall and started shouting extremely loud. Normally, he would never shout this loud nor be this aggressive. At this point, they had been dating for 8 years.
Wow.
I was 13, my brother 19, and my sister 16. My younger sister being 6. However, my brother was working the late shift when this happened, and my 2 sisters were both staying with their friends. So that meant that it was just me, Alan, and my mother in the house at this point. Normally at this part of the argument, me, my brother, and sister would step in. But due to it just being me against a big-built 50-year-old, I decided not to try anything and see if things escalated. After 2 or 3 hours at 11 p.m., I only saw escalation. And after hearing my mom shouting something like, "Drop the fucking knife," I immediately started the too familiar procedure of phoning the police. I thought at the time that it was just another self-harming attempt, but this was not the fucking case here. He was holding it to my mother's throat. Because of how often this has happened and how familiar it was to me, the operator doubted me for a moment, passing it as a prank call from another teenager. But it was on the phone that I heard it. My mother let out a sound that I have never heard before, louder than anything I have ever heard. I realized quickly that she had been stabbed by this psychopath. And when the operator could hear the distress in my voice and the scream, I was taken a little more serious. I had already been on the phone for around 4 minutes when it happened, so the police and ambulance were not that far away as they were expecting him to cut himself again.
Yo, man. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but like, anybody hurt my mom's? Yo, I'm not running. I'm facing you head on to whomever hurts my mom. Like, I'm giving. I'm I'm doing whatever it takes to protect my mother, to protect my moms. Sorry, I mean, that's like one of the only times out of, I think, like, yeah, one of like very few times where I don't run is when somebody hurts my mother. That's when I have to step in, and I have to do what I need to do. Like, that's my mom's. Like, she was there for me. I gotta be there for her. You feel me? I mean, if you're the same way, let me know in the comment section below. But like, yo, you touched my mom. You hurt my mom. Yo, I'm hurting you back. And you better be lucky. I don't. I don't. Hey, you gotta do whatever you want. You gotta do whatever you can to protect your mom. That's your mommy. Like, that's crazy. I mean, and your dad, but like, your mom is like, that's your mom, man. Somebody hurt your mom, you hurt them right back, tenfold, 100. Like, somebody hit your mom, you hit them, you hit that person back 10 times as hard. You hold nothing back. That's your mom's, yo.
Explained to the operator he had done previously. Around 2 minutes after, 2 police cars were on the scene. 4 cops showed up, 2 went around the back and 2 went in the front. I watched from my window, which was directly above our front door, as police went into our house. After around 30 seconds, I saw 2 come out carrying the psychopath down the stairs to their car, and the other standing at the door repeatedly asking for the ETA of the ambulance, which showed up about 5 to 6 minutes after. The police started to check the house for anyone in it just in case there was another suspect. When it came to my room, a huge cop came in and shined his light around my room a bit. He then told me to stay in the room and not to leave. I didn't know the condition of my mother at the time. I just assumed it was bad as the road was closed, as well as the one behind our house. 2 ambulances and a doctor's emergency response vehicle were outside, followed by what felt like 20 or 30 cops, if not more. Our house was on the corner of the street. Police were around every 10 feet of our garden, not letting anyone near the house, garden, or streets. After a while of waiting in my room, a detective came up to my room. He told me my mother was pronounced dead at the scene and started asking me questions about what happened. I was then escorted down the stairs where around 10 officers were lined up to try and block my view of the room where my mother was lying dead. The cops all had their hats on their chest and shook my hand as I walked past them and out.
Really
I
intense.
saw paramedics surrounding my mother starting to pack up. They looked exhausted and tired. Alan was sentenced to 16 years in jail.
That's it?
And I am so thankful that the police responded so fast. If they hadn't, who knows what would have happened. The paramedics worked so hard to try and save my mother, but she was struck straight through the heart with a single stab. Years before Alan murdered my mother, there were a lot of domestic fights and arguments, resulting in a wall or a face having a hole in it. If you ever end up in a relationship like this, please get help and trust your family.
Those are like the times when, that's crazy, because it was like there were fights and other like domestic stuff happening before her death. So like, you knew the signs, man. The signs, the red flags, they were there, but like, why didn't you? I'm not about to tear up again. That's rough. This was very intense. Three, true intent. Oh my god. Oh my god. In fact, he said it was true. God damn. This is why you need to be very skeptical about who enters the family. You know, whether it's, boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, whether it's like a, same sex relationship, or marriage, or, even friendships. It's like you got to be very careful about who you let enter your life, enter your family's life. And that's why it's always important to know that person fully before you even introduce them to anybody that you care about and that you love. Um, I'm getting emotional because, and it's not even that. It's like because I'm a victim of this. Not me personally, but like something like this has happened in my family. Oh shit! And that's crazy because you can know somebody for like, I don't know, let's say 12, 15, 20. You can know them for like 10, 15 years. But like, people can just easily switch up on you in a hot second. And you just don't know. Like, you can know somebody all your life. But like, and you can think somebody, is good, like they're good, they have good intentions. But like, I don't know. I think the truth, I think what I'm trying to say is like, everybody, I don't know how to say this. It's like, it's like you can, it's like you can know somebody for like 10 years, 10 long years. And, or, it's like you don't, it's like, I don't know how to say this. Whether you known somebody for 10 years or you just met somebody 10 seconds ago, people switch up on you. People can turn on you in a hot second. That's why you never. I thought I was done crying for a while. That's why, alright, I'm gonna just say, that's why you never fully trust people, no matter who they are. Because people can switch up on you in a hot second. You can have a best friend. You can have a you can be in a relationship, and your part you can be in a relationship for like 20 years, 5 years, 10 years. But like they can just easily just switch up in a heartbeat. And when they switch up, they can be a whole different person that you never even thought they can be. And it's scary, and it scares you. It scares me. Um, but I mean, it's good to trust people, but yo, don't. You can do whatever you want, but all I'm saying is don't put 100% trust into anybody, because I know from experience that people switch up on you no matter how long you've known that person. Again, you can know that person 10 years or 10 seconds. But you do something, say something, switch up you in a heartbeat. Now, I'm not saying all people are like that. I'm not saying that you can't put 100% trust into anybody. But like, there are good people out there. There are people that you can trust. Even with me, like, I understand if you don't trust me. I understand that, you're not going to put 100% trust into me or, believe. Like, I understand that. But I'll tell you right now, what you see is what you get. This, I'm a very honest person. I'm a very good, wholesome person. But look, at the end of the day, there are people out here that you can trust. There are people out here that you can't trust. I just want to say, just be very careful and very wise about who you let enter your life. Well, I'm about to have a good night. This took a turn for the worse. I wasn't expecting to be this emotional, let alone, I mean, granted, that I was emotional a couple of videos ago, but, hey, it is what it is. Look, if you want to put 100% trust into somebody, go right ahead. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do, but just choose very carefully about who you enter your life. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family.